spent decades preparing for the financial part of retirement, the 401k, 403b, the savings, and the budgeting. But as my retirement approached, the very first thing I thought was, well, what now? I'm Sheila. I'm 64 years old. I retired about 10 months ago. And this channel is about what actually happens, not what's supposed to happen, but what actually happens when you step into this next chapter of life. Because here's the thing, we were handed a script from those who went before us, our parents generally. Retirement meant you stopped working, travel if you can, spend time with the grandkids, and rest. You've earned it. But honestly, that script never sounded very appealing to me. Now, I know it probably sounds wonderful for many of you, and I think that that is great. I want to respect your experience. But I'll tell you, it scared the hell out of me. Much of my identity was built around what I did, my work, my roles, the way I moved through the world with a title and a purpose, and a Tuesday morning that started at 7 a.m. because, well, it had to. And when I began to realize that structure of my life would disappear when I retired, it just freaked me out because I wasn't yet prepared. So here's where I'll tell you why I'm even here. One of my biggest fears about retiring was that my brain would turn to mush. I have a PhD. I spent decades in academia. I built a career around research and thinking and asking really hard questions. And I was genuinely terrified that if I stopped doing those things in a structured way, I'd just, drift off and become abandoned at sea. So 2 years before I retired, I started an Instagram account. Not because I wanted to be an influencer. I didn't even really know what an influencer was. But because I needed a creative experiment. Something that blended what I love, which was curiosity, real conversation, figuring things out, with what I was heading into that next chapter. And what I found is that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one asking these questions, not even close. And at this point in my journey, YouTube feels like the natural next step. Longer conversations, more room to think out loud, and honestly, learning a completely new skill at 64 is its own kind of brain workout. So think of this channel as a social experiment. I'm figuring this out in real time, out loud. So maybe you don't have to do it alone. Maybe I don't have to do it alone. That's what this is about. So we can do it together. Before I keep going, I want to ask you something. Where are you in this whole process? Are you already retired and wondering if what you're feeling is normal? Are you still working and trying to figure out what comes next? Or maybe you're even somewhere in the middle where both things are true at once. Drop it in the comments, please. So, because I genuinely want to know, because this channel only works really if we have a two-way conversation here. So here's what's actually happened in the last 10 months of my retirement. I've done the things and am doing the things that we're supposed to do. I've traveled. I am traveling right now. I'm on a cruise. I stay in bed longer. I drink my coffee in bed, take it slow to wake up. And it's been lovely. Truly, it's been lovely. But underneath it, I kept, I don't know, thinking I'd feel more settled. I spent so long in motion that when that motion finally stopped, I didn't know what to do with the stillness and the quiet. And I started asking myself, what is retirement actually supposed to look like? Who decided this? And why does it feel like there's only like one version I'm allowed to be living? Maybe you felt this a bit too. I don't know. And that's what I want to talk about on this channel. Because 10 months in, the biggest thing I've learned is this: there is no one right way to do retirement. Some women my age are building something new, a business, a creative practice, a whole new second chapter that looks nothing like their previous chapter. Some are resting genuinely and intentionally for the first time in 40 years. Some are caregiving. Some are traveling. Some are doing 3 of those things at once and wondering if that's okay. And I'm here to say it's all okay. The retirement that looks right for your neighbor may have nothing to do with what's right for you. That's a big lesson I've learned in the last 10 months. And the sooner we stop measuring ourselves against someone else's version of this, mainly probably the brochure version that we see, the social media version, the she seems to have it all figured out and all together version, then the sooner we can start building something, I think, that actually fits for us as individuals. So whatever you're feeling right now, wherever you are in this transition, that's a real and valid place to be, even if it doesn't look like what you expected. So here's what I want this channel going forward to be. It's not a how-to. I'm not going to give you 5 steps to a perfect retirement. I don't have 5 steps. I have questions. And some things I'm learning, and a genuine belief that talking about this honestly is more useful than pretending it's all figured out or that I've got it all figured out. We're going to be talking about aging, about relationships, friendships, and marriages, and how they shift when your whole context of life changes. We're going to talk about retirement, what it actually feels like from the inside. We'll talk about travel and what it means to move through the world at this stage of our lives. And we're going to do it as peers, because that's what we are. I'm 10 months in. Some days I get it right. Some days I really don't get it right at all. But I'm working to build what's next. And I hope you will too. If any of this resonates, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below and tell me where you are in this. I'll see you in the next one.